DWTT. This is the trip. It's me and Tom, and hopefully we'll have some others, but we shall see. We shall. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Uh, let's get going. I got Mr. Tom and Mr. Tom. How are you doing?
Greetings. Hello, everyone. Hello, my people
Cool.
in the chat.
All right, so we're going to welcome those who have joined us early. I assume what my man put here is not. Why not has joined us, said something I don't understand. Hopefully, it's not something, not some bad words. Guess we'll find out. It's not that bad, but I probably wouldn't say it. But all right, Miss Melina, welcome. Thanks for joining the show. Colonel, welcome. And we shall get started here. One thing I forgot to do, and I will just do that right now, is I'm going to get started here. I'm just going to put a little, share this with our friends, but let's go ahead and get started. So, at least I saw some football that I liked this weekend. Mr. Tom, did you see any football that you liked this weekend?
I saw some football that was all right. I saw some football that was good. I saw some football that could have been better.
All right, so let's go with the. So what did you like?
I think it would be fair to say that there was a certain match played in Hounslow in London, which went well for a certain team that likes to wear red.
True. All right, so I put my tweet out there. Tony's joined us. Hopefully, Tony's audio is working.
Hi,
So
Gary.
Tony,
hi, Tom. Is it delayed that much?
We're back to
tell.
1974, Tony.
I think we're. Say something again. Oh, yeah, we're back. Yeah, the audio's back to where Yeah, it's a. We need to get subtitles. So
Monday night, Tony. I love it.
Monday night, Tony. He just somehow doesn't like to just have his stuff work. So, hello everyone. We saw. Let me go here. Big Gunner has joined us as well. Welcome
what about
to the show,
now?
Big Gunner. Say it again.
So what about now?
No, it's still not working. Mr. Arsenal Misfit, welcome to the show.
At least the sound comes through, though.
Going back. The sound is coming through, so I guess we're going to have to just deal with it. But you're going to have to, it's going to sound like you're interrupting us, but that's going to be the deal. I'll try to go around in a circle so you don't have to, hopefully, interject. So it'll be you talking, nobody else. Why not? Just saying hello to everyone. Thank you. Riddy has joined us. Welcome, Riddy, to the show. And pleasantries are going back and forth. Tony the Prophet, huh? Tony the Prophet, I guess.
So.
We've got a polite comment section.
Yes. Biggs Gunner, I smell Arsenal on first. That is true. And as you saw, the title of the show is what was the title of the show? Yeah, we're top of the table with the young Gunners for sure. We are getting younger. It seems we had a youth project. It looks like we have a schoolboy project as well. You can see him and hear him. That's right. It's just a little bit of a delay. Steve Denham has also joined us. So now that we've got through that, let's go and get started here. I guess we'll talk about probably the biggest game for us anyways. I know Mr. Tom said he enjoyed it. And
but I'd like to just make a quick interjection, sorry. You asked what I didn't enjoy, and it depends on your point of view, but I saw a burial in London this weekend, which you may have heard about, obviously, because it was quite big in the news. but then they also buried the Queen. So less said about what happened to Leicester down at Tottenham. So, you
See,
know,
I wouldn't have brought that up because I don't like who they were playing and where they were playing. So no, I didn't. No, I'm I'm lucky that I even referenced that team, and that's what they're gonna be called, that team. But yes, we can get
got
into
to
that
go
one too.
cat.
But
That's all that matters.
let's start with the big. You know, let's start with the big one anyways. Let's start with Arsenal, right? Let's start with that one. But as you said, um, the Queen, I believe, was laid to rest today, as I recall. I believe she's sitting in. Well, I think I just saw the guys in the red, the red suits. They had finished whatever duties they had in terms of moving the Queen around today, the casket around today, and so they're done. So it sounds like it's burial is gonna, I guess, either happen soon or has happened already.
Happened today.
The burial. Well, they didn't show it. They just showed the guy. All I saw was the men who were carrying the
Yeah,
casket,
no,
moving
to
the
my
casket around.
understanding, she's been dropped into a tomb
Oh, okay.
under
Okay.
the cathedral. Well,
All
yeah,
right. Okay.
my understanding of
All
it.
right. Yep.
But,
All right. So yes. So those those activities have been completed. The king has been announced, right? And it might be a while before he's actually coronated, if I recall. Could be a year.
What
And
takes
then
so long? It makes no sense.
does Mr. Tom know why it could take a year for him to officially, you
to,
know?
It
to
might
be
be dead
fair, right?
by then,
Look,
Tom.
well, yeah,
So
this is
then does it take 2 years?
well, right, it's interesting you say it because I was answering a few questions on it today from various people in my guides as an English person, let's say. But you got to keep in mind it was a unique event for television because the last time this happened, television was barely a thing or in its infancy. So it's like it's one of the few things that TV as a media was doing for the first time or didn't really know what to do except we'll just show it. So I found that quite interesting.
Cool.
I mean, I'm sure there were televisions available in like 1950, whatever, but it wouldn't have been nearly like it is today. So
Cool. Very much so. And a couple more people have joined us as well. The Aussie Guna has joined us. And yeah, a lot like Wayne Rooney's. If that's, well, as I recall, every time they talk about Wayne Rooney, they keep showing a shot that he took. And I don't like that shot. So I don't think it's exactly like Wayne Rooney's debut, or at least the one they keep
But
showing. It's talking about the youngster who comes into the fold and puts a
you
shot in
brought
from
on
distance.
someone who's younger than Facebook.
Hey, wait a second. We're jumping the gun here. Let's slow it down. Let me say hello to everybody before we go. Big Gunner. Oh, Tony's just talking to Big Gunner. We got a little back and forth there. It was difficult to hold back tears when they showed Emma the Queen's horse looking at the coffin going past. Ooh. Yeah, and I think I saw the two. Is it? I don't know. They're not collies, but whatever those dogs are. There were two of her dogs. I guess they were waiting for her at the one of the buildings. So yeah, a lot of that was going on. Yep, it's definitely a good weekend. It wasn't a completely good weekend because that team did not lose, and Leeds didn't play, so they didn't lose. There you go.
Apparently,
Right. So,
Manchester United have got 12 players with food poisoning from Ukraine.
wait,
Or
the what?
Moldova, sorry. Manchester United went to Moldova I think it was Moldova, for the Europa League. Like they played FC Sheriff. I've probably got it wrong where they're from. But apparently they contracted about food poisoning.
Oh, yeah.
Which is obviously, I've read, I don't know if it's actually true, but it would
Oh,
have been in the news a bit more had something else not superseded it all week. But
true.
it would have been quite handy to play them on Sunday. knowing
yeah,
half their team had the shits. But
that
okay.
that is true. Yeah, corgis. There were 2 corgis. That's right. Oh, you haven't watched the game yet. Well, we're gonna kind of go through it, Big Gunner. So you'll hear a little bit about it. Oh, Macedonia. Uh-huh. All right, so let's get into it. I think Tony disappeared for some time, but I guess while we wait for Tony, we can talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you were talking about. As I recall, I believe there was a bit of was there a bit of controversy? I believe it was in the City match. There was a red card called early in that match, if I recall.
Uh, City scored after 55 seconds.
Yes, and then there was a red card later, right?
Late in the first half,
Yeah.
Nathan Collins was sent off for basically trying to play Mortal Kombat with Grealish, I think it was.
Oh,
He just karate kicks him out of nowhere.
oh, okay. So that's not what I'm
No,
thinking
no,
about
no.
then.
It's not controversial in the slightest. He's
Okay, so
lucky. He's lucky they can legally only give him 1 red card.
I did not see that then. All right, but did Grealish deserve it?
Well, me saying that he's lucky he only got 1 is more for the attack. I'm not saying it wasn't warranted. I
All
mean,
right. I didn't. I saw something saying that there was there's some. I thought saw something about controversy, and I thought that was it. So maybe I am wrong. So I think that was the only red we had this weekend, right? Yeah, that was the only red we had
that
this weekend.
sounds right. Yeah.
So yeah, and as if City needs any help, right? I mean, when you give up a score in the first 55 seconds, I guess the match is over, especially if it's City. But if we go through the scores here, I think I watched some of the Forest Fulham, if I recall. I think we might have talked about that on Saturday on the road trip for those who were with us then. But I think that one started out. I think Forest took a 2-0 lead, if I recall, right?
No,
And
no. Forest went 1-0 up and then let in 3 goals in 6 minutes.
oh, and then that's right. Then they scored one to make it seem like it was a closer score, but it was pretty much a domination. Villa was able to squeak out a win against Southampton. As you said, that team basically showed Leicester City the door, essentially. And it looked like it could have been a close match because if I recall, I think it was 2-2 at one point. Right? In the first half, it was close.
Yeah,
it was close in the first half, right?
Yeah, and then, it was 2-2 at half time.
2-2 at halftime, yeah. And then Son, scores 3 goals in let's see, 13 minutes according to this thing here. So
that sounds
yeah,
right.
so it sounds like he had a really good, he's having a really good season, but actually he's been benched, it seems, for Richarlison, right? So not so much, but I guess that's a good wake up for him. But yeah, so that's what happened there. What else do we got? Newcastle and Bournemouth drew 1-1. I think that's a surprise score. I think most of us
Very
are
surprising.
thinking Newcastle is going to compete for a top 6 position, and that doesn't seem like it.
To be fair to them, so Maximan's injured. So
You know
that's
what?
basically.
Go ahead. I was just gonna comment right after
No,
you're done.
go on.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Well, no. After, and you know what? Since as far as I'm concerned, the last time I saw him was when they played City, and he had probably that might be his best game of the season. And then he has a I don't know if he's played since, but he definitely got a knock after that. And that's the thing with him, I guess, right? He's always not available. So what else do we got? We talked about that. And then I guess last but not least, right? I think we got all the games in. Oh, Everton.
Yeah.
Everton was able to actually get a win versus West Ham, which I think is surprising because West Ham we thought was going to be a much better team. And no, not so much.
I do recall saying I recall saying this all summer. West Ham are going to be significantly worse this year because of Europe.
I guess so. I guess you're right. Yeah.
And with the what's the right word? With the condensed fixture list,
Yeah.
They don't have, and I could well be proved wrong in the coming
Yeah.
weeks, but I believe they don't have the squad depth to basically do well in the Premier League and do well in Europe. So the longer they're in Europe, the more it will hurt them.
True. True. Well, they might be hurt enough. We'll see. And Ozzy Goon, if you're still around, I was in the chat on Nigel's channel, and Deji was there as well. So I always like making fun, putting some funny quotes in there because Deji, as you know, he's a fan of that team. So he doesn't like talking history when it's Arsenal talking about their trophies, but he does like tracking trophies when he's talking about how his team is doing. Interesting, right? So we shall see.
Who's Deji?
He's just he's a fan. He's got some really good takes if you want to record them and push them out later. But it all depends.
Okay.
We'll see if Arsenal were to win in a couple of weeks. We'll see what he says then. Yeah, I don't know. Tony had a doctor's appointment today. I don't know where he is right now. I don't know if he said something because he didn't say anything to us. He disappears and he does that. So it sounds
He's
like Colonel is saying that.
trying to sort his internet out.
Oh, well, he would have disconnected probably, right? So
Maybe
Grealish deserved it. It sounds like. There you go.
Cantona would be proud.
Yeah. Oh, talk about. No, I know, but we're talking about what happened over the weekend, so we're gonna get into it. I thought Tony was gonna come back. That's why I was
It's
not
called
necessarily in a rush.
stalling.
I was waiting for Tony hopefully to come back, but he didn't show up. And you know what? I hear you about that, and we'll get into Fabio, but I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's necessarily true. I think Fabio, I don't believe we'd like to spend money and not use it. So we're spending money on him. He came in for a reason. And the reason why he came in is so that we could see him play. And that's what he's going to have to play when Erdogan can't play, right? And I think
These Arsenal fans. Oh,
Yeah,
go on. Sorry. No,
No,
go on.
No, I think he's. I like him better than Erdogan in the sense that he will try to shoot. He's made one nice pass that we know of. He made a couple of nice passes, but I believe the reason why we brought him in is for this reason: one, because we're not going to see a big dip, and I think once he gets more accustomed to the game, I think we'll see what everybody's been talking about, the things that we're going to get out of him. So we shall see. The assist from Xhaka to Jesus. Yeah, we'll get into all of that as well. Set pieces. All right, so let's get into it. Talk about the Arsenal match. So coming into that match, Mr. Tom, Brentford, some were saying like a redemption game, even though we did beat them the last time we played them. But the first game of the season, they basically, got what they wanted. They got a depleted team, and we weren't prepared to play. And they took advantage of it. Got the 2-0 win, and at home on Friday night to start the season, and it hasn't really meant much because we still finished ahead of them. But it was, it's time to reverse the ills, and I think we did a really good job going to Brentford and doing a good job there. And going into it, Erdogan was going to be out. White potentially was going to be out, and Tierney. We don't know if Tierney is going to be in or not. And Zinchenko definitely was going to be out. So we still have fullback problems, but we always have two. So that's a good thing. So you had White actually come in and play, and you had Tierney play. And otherwise, it was pretty much our regular lineup for those who know. So it was really good. So game starts off. Mr. Tom, you have anything to say about the game as we'll start getting into the game here?
Yeah, I actually think it's interesting how you've knocked another team off on this is the second leg of your revenge tour, because you've already done Crystal Palace from last season away, and you've done Brentford away. Southampton, Brighton are probably going to be quaking in their boots a bit, because you got to start overturning. I know people say, last year was last year, but those were games that harmed you from getting to where you want to be, and you're in the process of overturning these. and it's mildly amusing me because I don't like any of them.
No, definitely, and we need to. We need to feel like when we go into those matches, we're going to win. Right? Those are the game. Those are the games we should be expecting to win, not hoping to win or thinking it might be a challenge. I know everybody says, "Oh, it's always really, really tough to play there," and I get it. I know that's a history thing, but that history has to change. That history has to change. We have to be able to go into those fields and feel like we can get a win, and not that it's going to be a tough one, because we're aiming for something much bigger, right?
It's hard to play anywhere in the Premier League.
Well, I know everybody says every place we go is going to be a tough place to play, but if you're thinking you're a top 4 team, there's got to be at least, I'll say 14 places where you should be able to get a win on the road, right? And not like feel like, oh, this is going to be really tough. If you're thinking you're top 4. So the game starts off for me. I'm always looking for that first 20 minutes and hoping that Arsenal comes out like they have in the past and look like they're going to score. And that did not happen in this match. It didn't go at least the way I thought it would go in terms of us getting really good looks and being able to score. But within the first 90 seconds, we definitely had a chance. Ball. I think, if I recall, Xhaka gets the ball, and some would say, should he have taken a shot or should he have passed it? And it seems like he maybe should have taken a shot because it didn't seem like Martinelli was ready for the pass. Even though, for me, if I'm coaching my players, if you're in the box, you should be looking ready. You should be preparing yourself to take a shot. You should not be surprised by the ball getting there, especially if it looks like it won't. Because guess what? If it slips through, you need to be ready. And that's what some of the best scorers will do. They'll always be prepared to take the shot. And Martinelli was not. Ball got stuck in his feet. And the shot basically got scuffed and kind of just rolled aimlessly to the goalkeeper. And chance gone. And for me, that first, 15 minutes just didn't look the way I was hoping it would for a team that had enough time off to get prepared. And then it happened, right? And then it happened after that. So the first goal, Mr. Tommy, you got anything to say about essentially how that game started?
No, I never watched it.
All right, so then I will just go through.
I've seen the highlight. I've seen the key highlights. Yep. So I will know 90% of what you're talking about. Yep. But I obviously I weren't awake at the time, if I'm being honest.
No problem. No, I am. And I guess you guys are talking about it. 2 good open play goals, and we'll get into each one of those. And Fabio coming in for me, I was looking forward to see him come in. I was hoping he would score. Especially on his start. We've seen it. We kind of saw that in the last. You saw that when Fabio and Marquinhos came in and started. He got a score. And I was hoping to see the same thing from Fabio because he didn't do that in his first start. And we'll definitely get into Xhaka because I'm hearing his name a lot, and and it's all positive. It's all positive. The assembled has joined us. Welcome to the show. So we'll get into it. The first two scores of the game. So as I recall, I believe
I have a question, Gary.
All right.
Just for my benefit, was there any part in the game where you were at 0-0? Was there any part in the game really where you looked in danger of going 1-0 down? Or
you know what? Good question. Very, very good question. No.
Because it feels like you were very much on top the entire afternoon.
Yeah.
From what I saw, and I'll say I watched the highlights, but what I mean basically is I woke up and then watched the rest of the game. But I didn't watch all the game, so I covered the rest of the highlights. But it felt like you were never in danger of losing the game.
And you know what? And I guess I look at the game differently because I'm not necessarily. I'm looking at what we're not doing, which is not scoring, and I'm never worrying, like you said, about them scoring because it never even seemed like that was a threat. They were a threat to us, and it was going to happen. But my thought is, if we don't score, at some point they might get a chance and score right before us. But yeah, you're right. never in that first 15 minutes or so did I feel like they were going to do anything to get a score on us. But I was more concerned that we weren't, and we should have at that point, based on how we've started other matches. So I think the way the first score comes in, I guess you guys know Saka. He gets the ball, and I think the defender, he's able to either knock it off the defender or the defender clears it out for a corner. And Saka goes, and his corners, I believe, have been getting better and better since he first started taking them. It's the one thing we're seeing with Arsenal is the growth of the youth, right? They're getting more responsibilities, and each responsibility they're getting better at it. So it's just a matter of time before they're clicking on all cylinders, as they say. He puts the corner in, comes in really high, and as I recall, Tony is matched up with Saliba, but he lets him slide in front of him. Saliba's able to get his head underneath the ball as it comes through, and essentially guides it into the far corner. All the goalkeeper can do is just watch it as it goes in. Arsenal's up 1-0.
Did it cross the line though? Because I wasn't, from my angle, I wasn't so certain that it had crossed the line.
It's one of those. Yeah. Okay, so it hits I believe this is the one that hits the post, if I recall. And the goalkeeper is swiping at it, and if you see the angle, he's swiping at it from within the goal. I mean, he's clearing at it. That's why all the Arsenal players are like, it's a goal, because they can see it. And I don't. Is there goal line technology in Premier League? So I don't understand. It seemed
I'm just fucking with you. If
it seemed like it wasn't working because not like there was no response, but you could see that the ball went, was going through, and he cleared it from behind the goal. So very nice header from Saliba. I mean, he's been definitely one of the positives, I think, in the Premier League season outside of Haaland. I mean, I think he's been, everybody's been impressed by what he's been doing for Arsenal. So really good. And I'm going to star some of these because I do want to come back and talk about them. So don't worry. I'm not forgetting some of your messages here. Yeah, we don't consider these as revenge. We were not fighting relegation last year, unlike some other. I call them revenge because I didn't think we should have lost to any of those teams, regardless of what was happening. Right? We shouldn't have lost to Brentford. We shouldn't have lost to Brighton. We shouldn't have lost to the United, which we haven't. We haven't actually, for me, won the match that we need to win. Right? So. A lot of matches that we lost last season.
Don't mock me for it, really. My team won that fight. I'll have 1,000 relegation fights as long as we fucking win them every time.
I hear you.
I don't want. No, I had 4 head of hair before last season. It all fell out. No,
yeah,
it's not true. It's not true.
You know what? You might be right. I actually did not want Xhaka to take the shot, but. Some were saying, he's probably if Martinelli's going to do what he did, why not just let Xhaka take it so we can blame him for taking a poor shot, right? We love doing that, but Martinelli just wasn't prepared. So and you know what? I've actually been on shows where the host is there by themselves and they haven't watched it. So Mr. Tom brings enough. How should I say? Narrative
Don't
to the show
justify
that
it to Riddy. I'll make sure I watch none of the next Arsenal match, and I'll sit here and make me talking up shit about it.
That is true.
I'll make up things that happen. Like in the 78th minute, when an alien came onto the pitch and play was stopped for 42 seconds. I'll make up an entire story.
And you know what? There's people that are watching our show that haven't watched the whole thing yet. So there you go.
Cheeky sausage.
Yeah, Riddy's getting all. He's like going after everybody. Nobody is safe.
He's feisty. No, he's had a lemonade. He's had lemonade shandy tonight.
Yeah, as Riddy said here, they did not have a sniff. They were lucky to even get. I think we got more shots on target than they took in the match. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. The highlight of his. You know what? You were right. Mr. Tom was smiling through that 19 minutes of Arsenal highlights. I mean, it's probably
I'll
the biggest
never be
smiley.
sad at Brentford losing. I'll never be sad about anyone beating Brentford.
Yeah, definitely well over the line. Yeah. Saliba's header.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. and I guess they want to find out from Why Not what he thought of the match.
I must admit, right,
Yeah.
when I knew the outcome, 3-0 and all that, I was sat there thinking, I wonder what Why Not's going to say. Because Why Not's my boy. But at the same time, I'm sitting there like, if anyone could find something that was not perfect in that football match,
Yeah.
that's the man I go to
Yeah.
immediately.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out
Immediately.
because we just had the comment there. Mr. Tom is a secret goon. I don't know yet. I don't know about that. But this comment here, I think a little bit of Why Not is rubbing off on Riddy. I think Why Not might have found a friend. Riddy's gonna turn around and go, no. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna change my ways. But nah. Like you said, we love having Riddy, Why Not on, and Riddy going after someone is always a
I love really
plus
giving me
bonus.
shit. It makes me laugh.
Yeah. So that was the first goal. We talked about that. The second goal. This is where we're talking about everybody's favorite, right? Everybody's favorite, Xhaka, right? He's been this season. I think a lot of other fans, I believe, have been impressed by him. One
I've
because
been very impressed.
he's not been a negative. He's not been a con in the pros and cons of what's going on with Arsenal. Actually, been really positive about it, and he's been showing some leadership there in terms of what he's been doing as a team leader. I believe he actually captained the team on Sunday, so playing really well. It's his time to shine now. So he gets the ball out. He's been getting the ball up high, which I think suits him, and I think that's what a lot of people were hoping to see from him based on what he does for Switzerland. Less defensive responsibilities, more offensive attacking responsibilities, it seems, is suiting him better. I mean, I think some people are happy to see him up there. They think we probably can do better than him, but it's not a position of need right now, right? I think we're doing fine with him where he is. There might be a time when we want to improve, but not today. Got other holes to fill. But he puts in a cross, and the way it worked out, you got a lot of movement from Jesus. He's been coming back, collecting the ball, and you're like, he needs to be further up the pitch, if we're going to get something out of if he's going to get anything out of this game. But he's able to actually get up there. Xhaka gets the ball, puts in a very, very nice cross. Jesus is able to get behind the center back and heads it back across goal. Goalkeeper has no chance. Very nice assist from Xhaka to Jesus, and we're up 2-0. Very good. Very good. It could have been more, I think, if we had done some things, but I think I kind of went through this when I was on Arsenal Fans, so we kind of went through all the different segments of the game. But first 30 minutes, up 2-0, you got to take it at Brentford. Yay, all right? Very good. Let's see. The next, so for me, after that, I'm always looking. What can we close out this half? I think we tried, but nothing really came through there, and maybe we'll start the second half better. Let's go through the chat real quick. Right now it's 2-0 at half, or it's 0-2 at half, where we are on the road. Let's see what it says here. Why not? Saliba setting up the third goal. Beautiful. You'll have to see it in fulls. Try to say, but Ben White is a ball playing center back.
He is ball playing. But that's how he played at Leeds. He's very good at it. Very good at it.
No, I think he's been versatile, and that's why he's playing where he is. I personally have always wanted him to be playing center back, meaning we need more depth at our fullback position, especially if White, your center back, who started for you, is better than your right backs that you have available, then you have a hole. Because White can start for you at center back, and we know now he can start for you at right back. But he's got to pick one, because I can't have him at both if I'm thinking this long term, right? If I'm thinking what happens in October, what happens if somebody gets a red card, injury, sickness, whatever, you need to have, somebody you can fill in, and you can't have one player fill in for two positions. It's just not going to work.
I would be very interested to see how you performed with Ben White and Saliba as a centre back pairing
I think a lot of people
without
are looking to
Gabriel.
see that. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have been wanting to see that. One, because Gabriel, I think for some, has been a little bit dangerous or a little bit scary in the way that he's been playing. I think he's been taking risks that he doesn't need to, and putting the team at risk of getting a goal scored on them. And I think he does. It's almost like, once again, does he fear that his position, that he needs to pay a better attention to what he's doing? Does he need that pressure? And the only way he's going to know if he needs that pressure is when he has to sit. And we'll see if White ever gets that chance. But I think I would like the idea that we can rotate White in with those center backs so that we can keep them fresh, especially in October. If we win the first game, we're going to want to be rolling, but we're going to need to keep those center backs healthy through that whole stretch, because I think those first 2 weeks of October are crucial. They could set us on the right path. And we'll get into that third goal with Saliba. And Mr. Tom is a legend, top vagabond. Is that what vagabonds wear? They wear those kind of white shirts? Where do you get those white shirts for the vagabonds?
What's vagabond mean?
You don't know what a vagabond means?
Well, yeah, I googled it and it said something about like being a nomad, like you're going from place to place.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know why he said it.
But it's trying to say I'm homeless.
Well, you are in a dungeon.
My boy's doing me like this on a Monday night. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's the
what is this? What is this?
Of course it is.
Never have I
ever given since the voice of the championship. I know he's saying championship. He can starve it all he likes. I know my boy Riddy. I know what he said. I know it's not a premiership. Otherwise, he'd have put a P in there.
Yeah, and
I'm trying to forget that.
And as the Assemble said, would you want Xhaka to get a Xhaka replacement, or are you happy with the Xhaka replacing Xhaka template? Well, and you know what, we've seen him, lose a leg and put it back on and keep playing. So, his his availability is second to none. Right, the man's got a knee issue, going to be out for a while, and as soon as he's back, he plays. So, you. If we're gonna save money on that, then that's pretty good. So yeah, no, he's playing well. The one thing that he does is he's a team player, right? The team loves him, right? And that's why he is where he is today. I think the Arsenal is looking at, and Arteta looks at him and they see somebody who wants to play for Arsenal. He didn't want to leave, but then Arteta kept him. Said, I want you to stay, and he stayed, and we're seeing some good things from him. So, as much as I think a lot of us want to see him go, I don't think he will, and I don't think we're surprised by that either, right? If Savic comes in, right, then Jacques is out, right? But I don't know if we're going to want to spend that much money. It'd be nice to have a Partey replacement, right? I'd rather have a Partey replacement than a Xhaka replacement if I'm really thinking about it long term, because Partey isn't going to last. Xhaka, we know, is not going anywhere. What do we got here? What's up next? Right back is a massive farting problem. I'm going to just say farting, even though that's not what you said. Wenger setting square peg around the pole. We have two center backs playing right back, so unbalanced, not adequate to compete with City. Yeah. Well, you know what? I hear you. Tomiyasu, they say, is a center back, but until we get a right back, what you gonna do? Right? and they both can play there. So, so there you go. But we need more on that back line, I think. Especially, we will see how this works out in October, right? I assume we'll see Holding start some matches, but just hopefully everybody's healthy. Hopefully everybody's healthy.
Right
I don't
back
know.
and left back, it's changing now though. Like
Oh,
the emphasis is no longer on defensive ability. It's on how quickly can they get up the pitch to overlap with
and
your winger.
I find that interesting because when teams have been attacking us, they've been attacking certain right, attacking our right back because they know they can get by him. Luckily, we have some good center backs that when they are alert are there to clean up the mess. But I kind of felt like part of your responsibility has to be defensive. Part of it does, and typically it's usually the first thing is there is some defensive responsibilities for a right back. If not, then you just put him as a winger, right? Right, or make him a wing back if you're going to play with wing backs. So I think I said that right. Right, that's why Tavage doesn't really work as a fullback for us because he has his defensive awareness is lacking so poorly that they just take advantage of it when he came into matches and when he kind of lost his way. So playing a wing back, he's enjoying himself, right? Um, Sorry, Gary, I don't waste time interacting with bots and trolls except when I know who they are. That would be interesting. How would you know if they can't be a bot and a troll if you know who they are? What's it say? Met Tom on a stoop just saying. Oh. I see where he went there. Has Xhaka adapted and improved his football? No, I think Xhaka has just been given less defensive responsibilities and allowed to do some of the things that we see him do for Switzerland a lot more. And I think he's got a lot better players around him, not necessarily covering for him, but actually, you know, just better players around him makes him look even better than he has in the past. So I don't necessarily think he's had to adapt. I think he's just, he's probably playing a lot more like what we've seen when he plays internationally. So because he's had some really nice ball work in traffic, right? Trapping the ball and knocking it over defenders and putting shots in that get deflected and put in for goals. So yeah, I don't necessarily think he's adapted. I think we've kind of catered more to what he's really good at. So nothing really improved his football. I don't think so. I think this is what you see from him in the other red shirt he wears. Why not? It might be clever to stay in our lane because thinking we can compete with City. Oh, compete with City? Who said that? Who said that? Who said we compete with City? I hope none of us. We're not there yet. We're far away from there.
That's what
We are.
Wynot was saying in the right back comment that Man City and Liverpool were balanced.
I don't. I think we're further. I think right back is not as many as. No, we're not. I don't think that's the only thing we need. I think there's more to. Maybe that's one thing that we might be able to help out. But I think there are other parts of our team that we would need to compete with City. And to compete with City, we would be thinking, right? Can we compete with like Real Madrid and PSG right now? I don't think we can. So that's what we need. That's where we would want to be. We're talking about competing with City. So I think we're far from that right now. I don't think that's a problem, but I think we can wait on that one. We can wait on that one. Um, oh, you guys. Oh, Vagabonds is he's going from show to show. He definitely does. What else? See why not here? Did no one else see Saliba spin Tony and watch striker? Saliba goes to his right, sees the passing lane cut off, goes left spin. Tony passes 1-2 to Gabby, 5-yard dash into the midfield goal. I think this happened. I know that many said that Tony was seeing Saliba essentially in his sleeps, in his sleep. Sleeper basically had him on, essentially on lock, as they say. He was locked down, not getting anything. I mean, I think the closest he came to scoring was either a header or a shot that went wide, but not. We
Oh,
didn't hear Tony's name. Yeah,
Sleeper pocketed to Ivan Toney.
yeah,
That is very much a correct
yeah,
term.
yeah. And
In
you know
his
what?
pocket.
Yeah, and I think it was a 7 o'clock game for me, so I can't say that I was noticing the defense like individually, like what was happening. But like we talked about, did I ever feel like they were going to score? No, no. I mean, it was, as I said, a really clean game. In the sense that if you had a game, you said, can you show me what a perfect game might look like? And that's what it looks like. You go out there, you win 3-0. The other team gets nothing at all. So let's get in the second half real quick, and we'll go all the way to the end from there. But second half starts up, and as you said, Saliba kind of gets the ball to to Fabio, and Fabio sees an opportunity to take a shot, puts a very nice shot in. The ball is it's going away from where he took it, and it clips the back of the goal and goes in. Goalkeeper it gets there late, doesn't get there in time. Very nice shot. I mean, from whatever 20, 30 yards out or whatever. Very nice shot from Fabio. And I think for anybody who's been watching them, at least with Arsenal, I think that looks like that's definitely one of the tools in his tool belt. And essentially, he's got that in him, and he felt really good and let it fly. Very good goal from him. Um, they call them gypsies. All right. I don't know what Tony did not show up, and he has not said anything to me, so I'm hoping he's all right. I will just put a message in here. So you went to the doctors before this, and so maybe that's what's going on there. You guys are laughing at each other. What else we got here? The Why Not's got one more comment here. And with very bad right backs, teams target that side, pushing Saka back, making us Beyonce FC. Everything comes from the left side and non-existent as the attack on the right is doing its cut work. Very, very, very well. I get very true about that. I don't believe Saka is punished as much in terms of his attacking because of that. Because it was no different than last season, and he did really well with it. I think we see how easy it is on the left and expect. And Saka, I think, has been able to handle the extra assignment of dealing with how things are on the right side. So, and what is he? He's our leading. He's tied, with he's got 3 assists this season so far. I think that's the most anybody has on our team. I think somebody else, one other person, I think Erdicor might have 3. So we might not be scoring as much, but he's definitely he's been helping out as best he can. So yeah, I get that. I get that. Zinchenko, yeah. I mean, like I said, I would love for Zinchenko to maybe move to the midfield, but we need to get healthy. So yeah, I just talked. Tony just chatted. He just chatted with me. He had to go see the doctors, and he's going to be out for a little bit, trying to work on getting himself comfortable. So yeah. So no, he's not trying to find the perfect Saliba side article. He's dealing with Tony. Yeah, Tierney does play left center back for Scotland, as I recall. Back 3, of course, we don't play that. Yeah, no, I think we have definitely replacements. I just think I think we're going to be short if we ever have to, replace the entire back line. I don't think we have enough answers there. Yeah. No, you're right about that, but we'll see. Can't do anything about it now, right? I don't think we were going to do anything about the right backs. Yeah. No, I didn't see any Spurs. Was there any Spurs trolls in our chat room? I don't think so. So yeah, yeah. That's we did that, right? We did that. I, Mr. Tom, I don't know what he's saying. Do you know what he? Can you translate that for me?
That game was bullshit, really, and you know it.
Is that what
Fucking
you had to?
VAR. We got fucked by VAR on multiple occasions, right? And I'm not going to sit here and be like, ultimately we lost, right? But to sit here and be like, oh, they thrashed us, it's like our manager even got sent off for like contesting the fact
Yeah,
that VAR was defending them. But then when we wanted something checked, it was like, no, go fuck yourselves, Leeds United. It's like, all right, we'll go fuck ourselves. Have a good Saturday.
yeah. Well, and and I think the Brentford match against Manchester United isn't the same as some would say. Isn't the team that we played? They are. They have gotten better since then. Will they be able to be consistent with it? We shall see. I think we were more consistent than they were in a lot when we played them, but I think we got out of our comfort zone. We got out of what we do well, and got punished for it. So I don't think we should have done what we did in terms of playing a high line like that, especially after finally being behind for so long. At some point, you need to kind of get back to some basics.
Don't care that we lost to Brentford. Beat them in May. That's all that really mattered.
There you go. You got some time for that. All right. So Saliba will. Do you think Saliba will have a good game against Haaland? I don't know anybody's going to have a good game against Haaland. So I think
Yeah,
Saliba. I think
my
that's the
simple answer
scary.
is no, I don't think he will.
Yeah.
But that's not a reflection on
Yeah.
him. That's
Yeah.
if you ask me that about any defender in the Premier League, the safe answer is no, I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Because he is that good.
Yeah. I think that's and then the you will have to play for 90 minutes. And you've seen him disappear. You've seen Harlan essentially not be part of the game for a large percentage of it. But you forget about him. You don't hold your line. You don't. Um, I guess get a body on him if you can. You get punished, right? You get punished, and if you don't clean it up quickly, he will continue to punish you until like they're done scoring. So, yeah, no, I think it'd be a good matchup to see. I think Harland is further along in his development as a player. So Saliba will find, and the one thing you don't want to do is, Saliba goes into that one, has a really poor match, and it kills him, right? In terms of his football and confidence that he has. So we shall see. And as you said, that will happen at some point. But I think since our match got postponed, we won't see them until the new year. So that's good that we see them later. But Harlan, maybe he won't even play because they'll be rotating him in and out at that point. You know, so we shall see. Yeah, yeah. He did play against Mbappe, but that was out in that for me. That was out in the open, in open space. And Harlan for me works sometimes in close space, and that's where he punishes you. Right. So different style of play. It's one thing and then I think Harlan being as strong as he is, I don't know if that would work. How he was able to beat Mbappe, and I don't know if that happened the entire match, like it will have to happen against Harlan. So, we shall see there. And what is this you're talking about? Oh, coming up October 1st. October 1st, and hopefully this game happens. Many think it will, but I will be in London for that time. So, yay! I will get to see Arsenal and Saliba Gabriel. And you know what? As you said, is that going to be Saliba Gabriel or Saliba White? right? We're going to be full. If we're fully healthy by then, what will Arteta do? Yeah, he likes how players practice, so we shall see. Holding.
I don't know what I did to assemble.
Everybody's going to have to lead. Sorry, going to have to lead for some reason. Looks like we don't need our starting center backs. We'll just we are starting right side of the defense. Yeah, we'll just put Holding and Cedric in there. Yeah, I don't know. Cedric and Holding haven't played much, so we shall see how that works. I mean, I think
No, I want you to be at your best.
yeah, that probably isn't them then. And you know what? Depending on how we do in our Europa League games, maybe you'll see.
I didn't toil in the championship for 16 years to sit here and go, I hope Arsenal have half their team missing.
Yeah,
No, I want to beat us. I want to beat us at your strength, at the height of your powers,
I heard
like we
that.
used to.
Like you used to. Again, Saliba Reddy's asking if Saliba pocket Kane. I think he will lock Kane up and change the entire match. That, I mean, he did lock up Tony. Kane, we're gonna need to because we know how dangerous he is, and he did punish with Leicester, but that's very easy to do, right? So, no, that should be good to see what he does, and we already know that Kane. We saw Kane play against Gabriel and essentially put little shoulder into him. I don't know if he'll be able to do that against Saliba, right? It might get to the point where he has to do that because it's the only way he's going to get any space. So we shall see. Good test coming up. They should know how to play against that team because they're going to come in and try to as they say, the dark arts, whatever that is. But yeah, Colonel's not saying anything about Leeds. So I'm not going to say anything because we got to play Leeds still, and even though they look like a bunch of farmers from up north, they probably turn into prime Real Madrid against us.
We turned into prime Real Madrid against Chelsea, I tell you that. You put your eyes on that football match. We pressed Chelsea so far back, they thought it was 2003 before they even had money.
Yeah, this has been a crazy, crazy season, right? Very crazy seasons and lots of stuff happening. Liverpool is still not anywhere close to where anybody thought they would be. I guess they're getting healthier, and they are. They're expecting to do good things. So we'll see about that as well. We'll see them right after the North London Derby. We will see them, or a week after that. And as the Assemble says, Colonel, we're top of the league. Arteta's, I think a lot of people are impressed with the way that Arsenal's been working, and I think if you've listened to a lot of the opposition, the fans from other teams, whenever they talk about, what other teams are doing, like at Chelsea, like at Man United, they always, to some degree, will bring up, the things that Arteta has been doing with Arsenal, because they think it's not going to happen at the snap of a finger. It will take time. So we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, Saliba's right where he needs to be, and he's going to get some serious tests. So, those tests will help him out. Yeah, Leeds is always a tough match.
It
Yeah,
weren't last year.
yeah. No, no, but I mean, you got what you wanted at the end, right? So now you know, and I think you're better set up to this season. So we shall see.
I'm looking forward to it.
As Colonel says, confident doesn't win things. Class does is why we slip up in certain games. Confidence, I believe, does win things. If you're not confident in yourself, you're gonna get run over. So I think it's a combination of things. Class, I don't necessarily think always gets you wins, but if you're confident in what you can do, and if you go out there scared, meaning you're not confident, you're gonna get beat up. All right, that's what happens. You come into a big match like a North London Derby, and you let that team run over you because you're not confident in how you play. Guess what? They will do that. So I kind of feel like and confidence is the reason why we don't see certain players on the pitch for Arsenal because Arteta does not have confidence in them. Pepe, for example, got no confidence in him. Right, Cedric. Right now, it seems like he's not necessarily in the doghouse, as some would say. But does he have the confidence in him? I don't think so. All right, what's going on here? Wynut's got some bad news for us. Not to be bearer of bad news, but I hear rumors there's train strikes are on North London Derby, which may lead to postponement. Yeah, I heard that. So I'm going anyways. Going to see my dad. So worst case, I will be in London for, almost a week, and I'll see my dad. So hopefully I get to see the game. But yeah, I don't understand why. I do understand why the train strikes can postpone it because they're doing things for the fans. But why are they doing things for the fans when every time they need to do something for the fans, they don't do it? But they're going to do this, right? That's just what I've seen. They're doing this for the fans, right? The postponement is because the fans won't be able to get to the match. But then there are other scenarios where the fans will be affected. They make a game late, and that's not for the fans, but they do the change anyways, right? So for me, I don't get that sometimes. And Tom, you better screenshot Assemble's comments before they're retracted.
No. I've screenshotted them in my brain. Like my eyes have seen it. Photographic.
Look who's joining us.
Never going away. Never going away.
I assume he was working because.
Yeah, exactly. I was putting together a desk and completely lost track of time. And when I walked out, I was like, "Shit, it's after 8 o'clock. Crap, I missed the show."
Oh no, we're still here. We are still here. You didn't say you weren't coming, so I didn't think. I assumed you were just gonna show up like usual.
I apologize, y'all. I completely lost track. I was putting together. I got a new uplift desk, man. If you ever put one of those together, you know it takes a little time.
Also, you can stand up and work and burn calories and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I can be a good human.
There you go.
You haven't missed much. I'm just taking abuse in the comments as usual.
Yeah. Richarlison and Son and Kane, if they start, that altogether that could be scary because we know how they all play. Kane, that is a bold, unsubstantiated statement. Yeah. The article from Garth Crooks is proof again how much certain sections of the media hate to see us winning. I did not see. I did not.
Ex-Tottenham player.
Okay, I saw his. I think it was a video of his where he basically was talking about the officials and Mike Dean and a red card that was given. And I thought it was for a game this weekend, but it may have been in the past. But he was saying essentially that the officials, Mike Dean, just wants to be part of the game. And that's why, he's terrible essentially at what he does. If that's the same guy I'm thinking of, I think it is.
That's not an isolated opinion on Mike Dean, though, to be fair.
No, there's probably many an official who has that same thing. So, Matt, we will get to. We'll let you.
No, go on, it's fine.
Yeah, I should say, Matt, we'll let you have some say, talk about the game. I'm just going to go through these comments and then we'll let you start thinking about what you want to say about the game. We kind of went through everything. We haven't got to the 90th minute where we had. We'll get into that and then I'll let you talk about the game. Colonel, we've been overhyped again. Remember, we came fifth when it was easier to come fourth last season. I don't think we are overhyped right now. We're doing what we're supposed to do, and that's why we are sitting at the top of the table. Right? If you would have said Arsenal comes into this match, which matches should they win? I think at the least it's the ones that we have won. United we knew was going to be a tough one, but I think the other matches, I don't think anybody could say, you know what? No, I don't think you can win any of those. I think we've done exactly what we're supposed to do. And this crazy season is putting us in first. So, yeah, class is Man City. We're not even close. I don't think I've ever said class. We're not. If class is Man City, some would say it's not.
Yesterday was a classy performance, though, because you got a result and we didn't ever look in any danger of not getting it, which is what what should be happening.
Okay, I'm thinking class a little differently because I think we've played against some classless teams, and they try to beat us up. So if class means a really good performance, and we did exactly that. That was probably the best match we've played, 90 minutes, where we did everything we're supposed to do, and the other team got nothing. Yeah, there are plenty of strikes every month. Nothing gets postponed anymore. We shall see, Riddy. Especially it's Arsenal. This could affect Arsenal, so most likely it might happen. So, Matt, I guess I have a lot. Yeah, I will. I'll let you have your say. So we were talking about the game. Kind of went through all the goals. I guess since I guess we'll finish up and I'll let you come back. Well, we'll let you go through. So tell me about your thoughts on the game.
I thought it was an excellent game. It was probably one of the best games I've seen us play under this manager. I felt like what we should have did against Manchester United, we did it against Brentford, and we just looked good. It was a solid win. I think the guys were motivated by what happened last year. Hopefully, they take that same motivation into the Tottenham game. I do want to caution people. We still got to get through October. I mean, I saw somebody today saying we challenge it for the title, and I'm no. We that's until we're past October into January. I think we after October we go get ready for World Cup. So after January we'll have a really clear idea of where we are. But nonetheless, it's always good to be up near the top. If I had to phrase it, I would tell people we're right now we're challenging for top 4 places, 4 through 6. That's where we are. And so from there, if we're still hanging around 3rd place, 2nd place, January, February, March, then yeah, we're challenging. But for right now, we're just challenging, and we're not challenging for the title, but we're just challenging. We're being competitive, and that's all that counts at this stage of the game, man. Everybody looked good Sunday. Granite Xhaka looked good Sunday. The only thing I ask, man, is if we can just put those performances together against better opponents, I think we'll be cooking.
Yeah. And as you said, I believe we took risks at Old Trafford, which you don't need to do when you're on the road.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do after you've been behind by a goal for as long as we were. We hadn't scored, and we finally do score. And we still seem like we're going to take chances in the game, and we got punished for it one time, and we still decided we're going to go for it again.
Yep.
And we got scored on a 3rd time. And so you're right. Arteta does seem like he takes chances in the worst situations where it's not necessary. And like you said, if that's our style to play against Brentford, you've got your blueprint.
Yeah. Yep. And kudos to the young man, Zawani, I think is his name.
Yeah, it's Ethan Guarini, I believe is how you say that.
Guarini. Okay, yeah. That's got to be one hell of a feeling to be 15 years old coming out of a Premier League pitch, man. That was quite the class move by Mr. Arteta. And I think I saw in the press conference he said we were short of numbers, which is why we had to do that. So hopefully we won't have to go down any further. But other than that, man, like I said, it was a 5-star performance. I had absolutely no complaints about the game Sunday. Absolutely none. It was probably one of the best games we played in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a complete game. It was a complete total domination. So,
and to think like the first 2, goals were by headers, and the only other shot we got was from outside the box. Like we got nothing inside the box where we just built it up and were able to, kick it in. Like,
yeah, and you all know how I feel about Ivan Toney, and Saliba had him in his back pocket. So that's quite the feat.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good to see. And as I said, I would have to go back and look at it again because I kind of was just like, They weren't threatening us. I had not. You know what I always say for me, if I don't have to say your name, most likely you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Especially like when it comes to defense. Like sometimes we don't even notice like in the game, it didn't seem like Partey made a difference. Like because
Yeah.
he didn't always touch the ball. They were able to bypass him, and sometimes that's a bad thing. But I think he creates a comfort, for our team when he's on the pitch. Sometimes we have to go to him, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
And we were able to bypass him and still, continue our attack. And then when we needed him, he was right there. So I kind of felt like, he's kind of that emergency valve, right? When there's a lot of pressure, you want to release the pressure, open the valve, get the ball to Partey, pressure gone.
Yeah.
And
It also highlights that we really need to make sure we strengthen that in January. I mean, we have to strengthen that position in January.
So, I mean, I think is it Julio Douglas, Julio Douglas, or whatever his name is.
At this stage, Gary, I don't give a damn who it is, as long as they can play.
Well, it's the guy we could have gotten at the end of the window. I think he still wants out, and he definitely would be a good person to have. And because I think I'm concerned because Partey is going to Ghana for international break.
Yeah,
I'm concerned we won't get that Partey back once again for North London Derby.
Yeah,
on the road.
I hate these international breaks, man. I really don't see the sense of having one until. Well, I just I can't stand them, man. Yeah. They just it ruins the flow of the season.
Yeah, and these international breaks don't help anything. I mean, the fact that they still wanted to do international breaks during COVID is ridiculous.
The whole point of that, it's the fact that we've got players who could actually get hurt and ruin their World Cup chances in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Now imagine some of these players going out and get hurt this week over this crap.
True. I mean, it makes more sense to give players the 2-week build up into the World Cup, because supposedly somebody does get injured during the 2-week ramp up. You got time to get a replacement anyways. It's no different than now, right? You get people on standby anyways because that's what you would do, and you'd be set. So that makes more sense to me, but we'll see. We'll go through some of these these comments here, and then we will continue on.
Will you be doing trips during the World Cup?
I do. I'm gonna do a show as long as I'm around. Yeah,
I'll be doing watch-alongs with Lee Gunner.
For the World Cup.
Because we're definitely doing one for the United States and
no, I'll definitely be doing my show.
We'll be doing one for the United States and England.
Yeah. No, you're right about that, Colonel. We do at this point right now. We don't have world-class players in Arsenal. We might be creating some, but we don't have any right now. I mean, Jesus, I don't think is considered world-class, and he's our best player we got. Saliba could be one in the future. Hopefully he's still here. That's the other part to that part. Hopefully he's still here, but he's not one now. So our future could be bright if we continue the way we're going. Why not? I hope you get to the game, and if Arsenal was for the fans and full of class, they would put coaches on for the fans. Yeah. No, I hear you. I always get the class. When you say class, I'm thinking, the ruthlessness of certain players on the pitch, not necessarily class in the quality of play. I assume that's what that means, right, Tom? Class means good top class means top performance, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
Like City, Real Madrid, probably the top, and Liverpool when they were healthy, probably classy teams, right?
Well, yeah, it's like class as in world class, yeah.
World class. Why don't we just say world class for me? Because I'm a little slow. Why not saying hi to Matt? Matt, the voice of reason. Riddy has found somebody he hasn't said anything good about anybody. So, Matt, enjoy these these good comments from Riddy. He's pretty much gone after everybody.
Appreciate it, brothers. It's always good to have
I-
supportive brothers.
I must have took Matt's share of the abuse today. Then.
Maybe that's what happened. See, Matt didn't show up, so then the next in the list was Mr. Tom.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'll take Matt's share of the abuse any week. It's fine.
Yeah. So Jesus and Richarlison for the battle for the Brazilian number 9. Well, yeah, there you go. Hopefully we win, and then that'll show who should be the number 1 player, the number 1, number 9. Yeah. So there, see here. The next time we have a queen, that team still will have won a trophy. Ooh, there you go.
That's a long time.
That seems like yeah. Until we're not in it, we're in it.
Unless England starts going all Game of Thrones on each other, then yeah, it's going to be a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly how many world-class players does Arsenal have? I'm not including potential world. Yeah, we got 0. Anybody think we got more than 0?
Well, you got one, at least one.
Who's the one?
I would argue that Gabriel Jesus is a
You think he's
world-class player.
world-class? Well, okay.
I think his influence on your team is heavily implied that he is.
Okay.
He's taken you from. Admittedly, you've played one top 6 team, right, and lost. But at the same time, he's made a. What's the word? It feels like he's created a winning drive or mentality.
Yep.
Amongst the other and the younger players in your team.
Yeah. No,
it seems like he's motivated Granit Xhaka to have someone worth working hard for.
No, he definitely, like you said, he definitely has been a good influence on the team. I guess when I'm thinking world class and I think of a number 9.
Yeah, like you think like Messi and Mbappe and all that.
Yeah,
but
what you're saying is he's world class in the sense of, he should be if he was our captain, you wouldn't second guess that at all, because that's kind of what you want sometimes from your captain, your leader on the squad, is the things that he's doing which have nothing to do with his scoring. He comes onto the
like
pitch,
he's dragging you along.
I don't think I think we needed somebody to pick us up. That's all.
Yeah, no, I don't mean that in a negative way, like no one else is pulling their weight. But I mean, you didn't have it's laughable to mention it, but you weren't getting these performances and motivations from Lacazette and Aubameyang in a million years. Well, maybe 4 years, but you know what I mean. It feels like he's revitalised, because for him this is a chance to feel like it was a mistake for Man City to let him go, and a mistake for Man City to not play him more often.
Yeah. Well, I can see why they don't play him. They didn't play him as much, because I'm scared for him sometimes, and that's why I think many will say we needed another number 9.
No one's ever going to say.
Well, the reason why I say that is because he will get beat up more than enough, and not only that, we already know he's on his 4th yellow, and we are playing in the North London derby, and we know how the officials will be in that match. So the chances of him getting a yellow, I think the odds probably, if there are odds, is probably high. And then we'll miss him for the Liverpool match, which is even worse, which is just as bad. So there you go. So yeah, and that's why that's why many will say we wanted another number 9. We let 2 go over the last year. Can we get 2 more, please? And Eddie has played better, but is he ready to go up against Liverpool? If Liverpool sees Eddie come in, even as poor as they are they going to feel as threatened, than if it's Jesus? I want them to, but Eddie's just not there yet, and he won't get there in what,
I think it's right. I think it's right of you to use him as currently as a Europa League striker, because it's up to him to push you along in that competition to the point where you can question, should we be starting him in Premier League matches? Because if he can't be getting goals against Zurich and Bodo, Glint and all that, then no, he's going to have no chance of getting picked against Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think many will say that Zurich game, it should have been worse than that. We should have, handled them a lot better. And and the one thing that, as you just said, Jesus, his influence on the team is world class, right?
Currently.
And his influence, his influence on the team is world class, and the person behind him isn't in that position in their career to be able to do that. Who do we? He's leading our team. When you pull him out, you got Xhaka maybe to do that, but not in the same way.
Yeah, but that's not Eddie's fault, because you've bought Jesus from a team of winners. He's used to winning.
No, but you could have bought another number 9 that is up and coming, probably a little further ahead in their development than a Nketiah, that at the least will have maybe as closer to the talent and the quality that you're looking for.
Yeah, but I could be 100% wrong here, but there probably would have been a discussion where Gabriel Jesus would have been speaking to you. Who does your transfers? Edu, right?
Mm.
And it would have been, so what are your other transfer plans? And I bet if they'd have turned around and gone, we're looking to buy another number 9, he would have been thinking, do I really want to come here to be back rotating like I was at Man City?
I hear that, but we need that anyways. And any team that he's played on, especially City, had exactly that.
But that's why he left, because he wants to play football.
He would be a leader and a captain. He would be a leader and a captain for Arsenal. He wouldn't be that at City.
No, but ultimately he wanted to play football. He is. The impression I get is he's naturally a leader, because he's come in as one of your better players and he took that mantle.
I'm not saying he would only get 18 games like he did for City. I'm just saying we need to have somebody further along in their development than Nketiah.
But he's probably come along knowing that he'll be rotated with Nketiah, which means he's more likely to play more games.
You do understand it, but that's the problem with Arsenal. We never have that guy behind you pushing you along. And then you, as a player, that player basically feels like they got it. They're going to play no matter what, no matter how poorly they play. And then we sit there going, well, we don't have anybody to bring in. And you can't keep going back to making the same mistakes over and over again. I mean, that's why we have these fullbacks, that these players filling in at fullback, because we need that. So, Matt, you're not talking to us. What's going on? You don't have any say in that?
I just think that we need. I think Jesus is world class, and I also think that the mentality he brought from City is he's bringing a pedigree. That's the word that y'all are looking for. It's pedigree. He's bringing a pedigree, and that pedigree of winning. If you're on a team like Arsenal, you got a guy that's come in as won multiple titles, and you got a guy that's a proven winner. See, it's the same thing like when Sanchez came in. This is why I remember when Bellerin was like he want to win too much, and it made him like a complete fool. Is when you've got a player like Jesus coming in with that winning pedigree, you have to perform with him. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb if you don't. That's why the level of play is so high. Martinelli was playing high before he got here. That just amplified. There were certain players that it just completely amplified. And Xhaka realized now that he has to perform. A lot of these players realize they have to perform. Because you can't let this guy come in and completely usurp the ship, and then y'all are still, operating at that level, and you know what's going to happen. Yep, it's time to feed the dog. It is time to feed the dog.
I'll be right back.
No problem.
I heard the whimper.
Unbelievable.
but yeah, Tom, I just think that that pedigree, that winning pedigree,
Yeah.
now with them, and it just goes to show how good of a signing it was. This is why it's paramount. We get more signings with this same attitude, and you develop. Then that's when you develop your spine.
Yep.
You know, it's such a drop off when Nketiah comes on versus when he's off. You know, and you're asking for a lot for Nketiah to do what he does when that's not his specialty.
Mm-hmm. Very few subs though actually. What's what I'm looking for? Very few subs actually come on and score goals though. Like it's not as common as we all hope it is, sort of thing. So I think sometimes he gets thrown in. It's actually quite similar to Patrick Bamford before he played for Leeds. He had a reputation that he played loads of games in the Premier League and scored no goals. But it was something like he had played 40 matches and 38 of them were substitute appearances where he got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But on the actual sheet, it's 40 games, no goals, or 2 goals, or something like that. Whereas I think Eddie's getting in danger of getting that reputation. Whereas at every age group he's played at, he's had the reputation of bangs in goals, knows where the goal is. But now he's playing with adults, as such, it's very, he doesn't score goals. He comes on and we get worse. Or you have the mentality of, we're bringing on Eddie, we're in trouble. Not we're bringing on Eddie, let's go, let's make something happen.
Or you can look
That's
at
the feeling I get. Oh, sorry.
This way, Tom, is that people forget Jesus was coming off the bench for City scoring. He would come in and drop 2 goals, from the bench. Of course, we're talking about City, but that's the standards that you have. That's the standard that City
the example I always like to use is Emile Smith-Rowe. He started for us, and then as lately he's been coming off the bench for us. But if you recall, he scored 3 or 4 goals in a row coming off the bench for us. That's him taking the little bit of time that he does get on the pitch and doing exactly what he does sometimes for 90 minutes. And that's what Nketiah does not do. He doesn't come in. Like he even said it, and that's where I think it's a mental thing. He said, "I need minutes to go and show you what I can do," and that's why I believe he thinks the way the season ended, because he got starts, is why he played so well. And that you know what, you can't. At some point, you will have to come off the bench and perform. The big players do that, and he didn't do. He's already said, "I need minutes." And that's not true, because usually the way it works is you come in, you come in and you just come in as a sub, and people look at the sub and go, "Wait a second, wow!" Right? Because I always go back to Jota. Jota was not a starter for Liverpool. Would come in. How many games in that first season for Liverpool would he come in and actually come away with a goal? Consistently, he did that, right? Nketiah, that's part of what he needs to be able to do as well. He comes in late. Players are already tired. He's going to be fresh. He should be able to, at that point, be able to get something on the defense, because he's in a better situation at that point. He's the freshest player on the pitch, and we saw that from Jesus when he subbed in the first time. Right? He subbed in the first time, and how fast did it take him to score? Right? And I get it. He's seen it now with Jesus, but we saw it last season. He saw it last season with Emile Smith-Rowe coming off the bench.
I can say something about Eddie, and you as a sentence, you'll find it laughable. But I noticed this purely from the 4 months that he played for Leeds. All right, that's purely what I'm basing this on, and I think it's going to apply to Arsenal. I think he's quite similar to Haaland. Now, as a sentence, that sounds laughable, I understand. But what I mean is in the fact that Eddie, his whole game revolves around doing nothing. And then the ball drops to him and he bangs it in. Because that's what happened at Leeds. He'd have no involvement in the play. And then he'd score a goal for us out of nothing. and that's what Haaland essentially does. But he ain't got the presence of Haaland. It's not even close.
Well, I don't think Holland does nothing, and I think that's where I think there is a difference between the two players. I think Harlan is doing
No, but
things
the perception is Haaland's presence drags people away even when he's not on the ball. I understand that.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, you might go 10 minutes a game without even realising Haaland's there.
Yeah, I think I don't like the comparison because I feel like Harlan makes the other team work, and when they make a mistake, what he's been doing the entire match comes to light all of a sudden, and it looks like he's done nothing for the entire match. He's been doing it all match. You've been playing it pretty well defensively. You made a mistake, you get punished for it. And like you said, Nketiah does that, but he consistently is he going to punish you when he does get the ball to fall at his feet, and I think that's where
Eddie won my team a lot of points doing that, though.
No, I know, but we can't afford to have Eddie on the pitch doing that for 80 minutes.
Hey, Tom, that was also down in the championship too.
That is true. True.
Like I said, I don't think it's a case of he can't do it. I just think mentally he doesn't. He's already like when I heard him say that, then I was like, damn. Well, there you go. That's the problem. He doesn't. He feels like he needs to get a run in before he can get going, and you can't do that. Because there'll be game. Like think about it. If you get injured and you come back, you don't just get the 90 minutes. This isn't Xhaka, right? Most players they might come in and they might come in for a half, right? KDB gets an injured. He doesn't necessarily start the next time he's ready to play. He comes in probably in the second half, gets about 30 minutes, and you go, all right, he looks like he's good to go, and then he starts the next match, right? So you have to be able to come off the bench the same way you know and start and. When you start, you should be able to show more performance, and that's not necessarily always true. But I hear what you're saying, but I don't. No, I'm not laughing at you. I understand what you're saying, but I think it's
no. I know
different.
it sounds absurd. I know it's an absurd statement.
Yeah.
But I think it's the best way to describe how he sees himself when he plays.
Yep. Oh, Slice, I saw your comment. Welcome to the show. I haven't gone through the comments. We'll do that for a little bit, and then we'll continue talking here. Matt's here. You guys are talking about the Spurs match, and I think I saw somebody actually saying I did star it, and I don't. I guess maybe I don't know what football is, but if you think Kane and Son are world class, you need to stop watching football and find some other sports. Maybe I don't know what world class is, but I feel.
Son scored 3 goals. Came off the bench and scored 3 goals. It doesn't get
like I don't know. I think you're trolling, right? Because that can't be true. Kane is what close to being one of the top scorers in English football.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it. That doesn't come easy, regardless of who you're playing for and how many trophies you don't have. Not that easy, or else everybody would do it. Son, I believe, is he hasn't been playing good this season, but I think he's dragged that team along when Kane has been struggling the last couple of years. So I think anybody would love to have him on their team.
What I will say about them, and I could be wrong, but I think the reason they don't win things is because they have a lot of games where they pad their statistics. Like I think they played a game. I think it was last season or season 4. They played Southampton, and one of them got 4 goals, and the other one assisted all 4. And I think they have these games where they both do really well, but then they have too many games where they don't, and that's why they get 4th, 5th, 6th.
Do you not? Okay, so you don't think they're world class?
No, I think they are. I think they are in the sense that because they end up with 20 goals a season sort of thing in the Premier League, but they should be doing more because that's why the team don't win things.
They played Arsenal. Arsenal needed to win. They needed to win that match, and who stood up in that match? Their world class players stood up in that match. Both of them scored. And both of them had a definite. They definitely were the reason why they won. They're 2 world class players. So for me, like I hear what you're saying about the games where they did absolutely nothing, But against us, they needed to get something out of that match, and they did. And so I know it's not getting them a trophy, but they needed to stand up, to be heard, and they did a good job there. So I think that was a difference in why they got fourth and we didn't. Matt, do you think Kane and Son are world class, or
Absolutely.
should we watch? Okay, so Riddy's trolling, I guess. Yeah.
Well, no, because he brought up in the chat. He said, "Y'all, you bigging up Spurs players." I thought this was an Arsenal chat.
We're not bigging up them. That's the difference between us and that team right now, is they've got two players on there that anybody would take on their squad.
I mean, you got to realize they're only 1 point behind us.
Yeah. And nobody thinks they're playing good right now. A lot of the people that, a lot of the haters that look at them go, they're not playing necessarily as good as they could be with the squad that they have. So, and I think coming fifth, galvanize the players. I'm hoping it's those 3 losses in a row that would, slap them in the face and made them wake up. Because that should be the painful part about that whole situation. Fifth, just happened. We kind of did. We would have to really do bad not to get fifth at that point.
I mean, that it kind of needed to galvanise them.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from 1 or 2 additions, it's generally the same players. So you need to. That's what needs to happen. You can't sit there feeling sorry for yourself, have this big chip on your shoulder.
True.
I mean, that happened, and you've got to make sure it don't happen again. Because as big as you are as a club, there's only so many years that you can stay out of that Champions League and still compete to get in it.
Yeah, well, this. Many would have said that was last year, and this year is going to be tougher. So that's why we have to overachieve this season to get fourth. And yeah, I don't know if you guys remember seeing this. I saw a video of this. Is after we scored that first goal, you had Xhaka and Jesus both on the sidelines, basically talking, and that's what Jesus has been doing since he's been here. I just remember he's always communicating with the team. And, and that's why I believe he's part of the leadership group, right? So Arteta, brings him in, and I think he's shown exactly. And I mean, it's not that I don't believe it's not that he didn't have it at City. I just think they had KDB. They didn't, they had the, one of the top captains out there. So he didn't need to take on that role, but it's probably in him, and we're seeing it now. So we're all the better for it and happy for that. Yeah, you rather have him booked against Spurs. Yeah, if we get the win, if he has to miss the City match, then so be it. But we need to win the City. We need to win that North London derby. Yeah. And will Xhaka get booked? If we're having a bad game, meaning Xhaka has to come back and defend, that's the only way I see him getting a yellow, getting booked. Well, getting booked is probably he'll probably get booked because he's, if he lets the game get too big for him. And if Jesus isn't able to kind of lead like he's done in the past, then I can see it. But
you've been on top of games more, so it'd be much less likely to get booked.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, if they don't let this game get to them like they did the last time, like if they looked at if they just looked at the last 90 minutes, they looked at that 90-minute match and just looked at it. Holding should be the first one talking to everybody. I lost my head. Right? I lost my head in this match, and you guys cannot do that. Right? If he's supposedly a good leader in the locker room, it should be easy for him to stand up and talk about that match and what was going through his mind at that point, because he kind of let the team down. That's not necessarily how Holding plays. Right? Everybody was a little bit surprised by that. Yeah, I think everybody's thinking there's going to be yellows in this game just because it's North London Derby. We definitely have talented players. No world class at that yet. I hope Eddie proves us wrong. I just, he's not going to get that many chances, and he has to take every chance he gets. 100%. And he did well in the Zurich match, right? He scored and assisted, so we'll take that. We just need more of that. Really amazingly, Xhaka has only been booked once this season, so he can afford to get. See right there, simple. That is bad thinking. That 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 that, that, that no. He
that red card is coming at any. It is. Gary, you know it's gonna come out of nowhere.
That's why I don't want that
Wow.
thinking. I don't
Hey,
want that
it's
thinking.
cool. Hey, for
I love it.
people in the state, it's gonna come just like the IRS letter that come out of nowhere. You know the IRS letter.
Okay.
You've been
Oh,
cheating
man,
on
that's
your taxes
amazing.
for years. They haven't
Yeah.
caught you, and
It
you
did.
cheated. The symbol? No. We all believe it's there. He can't afford to get anything. He has to play the same way he's been playing all season. And he has Erdegaard, if Erdegaard is back and healthy, he'll be the captain, and you'll have Jesus and Xhaka and Erdegaard on the pitch. We have the leadership that we need. We should be good. And we know Jesus knows how to beat. Well, I guess they know how to compete with this team. They don't know how to beat them, right? The last season, I think they struggled against this team. So there you go. Eddie scoring against Liverpool. There you go, Riddy. You went from like, attacking everybody to now some might say talking a bit of nonsense. Mr. Tom, I think, do you approve this message?
I'll be very surprised, but I'll be pleased for him. Yeah,
So you don't approve this message?
I'll approve this message in a reluctantly. Yeah.
Oh, this is the comment from Riddy. Yeah, we
I
talk
like
about
Eddie.
everything, man. We talk about anything. Yeah, world class ish. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people think because he's not at GOAT status, right? He's not in the conversation with the greats, but world class, I kind of feel like he is. But that's me. The three of you can score 6 against the Leicester defense. That'd be cool. Let's see. Everything food wise is smaller over there in England. Do you feel that's going to affect you? That just means I can have two of everything. Or I can have two things. Instead of having one plate, I can have two plates. 2 meals. I have no doubt that I'm going to put on some pounds when I go. Let's just say that. There'll be some eating and some drinking going on. Let's see what we got here. We actually have a striker problem going into tough part of the season. Jesus is one yellow. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did mention that as I'm catching up. And a lot of people feel he's going to get it in this match, just the way this game's going to go. Ready to? I've had some of these comments for me. Just stay away from certain parts of England. That's my homeland. I'm not allowed to go anywhere there. There's parts of America I wouldn't want to go. So there you go.
I have been to Liverpool. My
Yeah.
favourite part of it was the train pulling out of Liverpool.
Matt, are there places in America you wouldn't want to go?
Oh yeah, Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, so there's place. You know what? There's a place near you where you don't want to be. So I don't think you can get away from it. And so here's a good one. So Benzema, he's world class now, and he wasn't, right, for many of his years because he had a world class player in front of him. All right, and I think he'll actually, yeah, I believe he actually says that if it wasn't for Ronaldo, he probably wouldn't be where he is today. So there you go.
Yep.
I mean, I think he says that all the time whenever they bring up, kind of him and the way that he kind of, sat behind some of the, one of the best. So, yeah. When it's your time, you got to shine, and that's what Eddie needs to know. When it's his time on the pitch, he needs to show us why. Why did they give him 14? Why is he getting paid $100K a week? And it doesn't need to be in 90 minutes.
That is a lot of money, though, isn't it, for a Europa
And-
League player?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be in 90 minutes. It needs to be once you get on the pitch. You see greatness in players. You don't need to see 90 minutes of it, right? Like Rafinha played and you knew he was great. You didn't need to see 90 minutes of him, right? And I think Batman has joined us now.
Oh, shit.
Yes. Yes.
And
You know it's a
Oh,
getting
man, I
late.
love
somebody has to
I
give
love
Son a
Batman.
whack for getting Holding sent off. You know what? Holding is the reason why Holding got sent off.
Yes.
He took the bait and he shouldn't have. He knows better than that. I believe. I think he knew better. He knew.
Here, Tom, do I need to make you happy again?
Well, you're just upsetting Matt, is what you're doing.
I'm always happy to see you, Batman.
What is this? Benzema was always world class from the age of 19. So you could be world class but not play because you didn't really play much, right?
Now, he used to play for Leon.
No, but I mean when he was
joined-
sitting behind Ronaldo, right?
No, he did. He did, but it was very much the tactics were very much. If you might be able to shoot, but is there any chance you can pass the ball to Ronaldo for an assist?
You know, he did take a step back for sure. Yes.
Yeah, that was more of it. But no,
Okay.
from what I recall, he very much was part of that Real Madrid team, even with Ronaldo in it. But you're still number two to number one.
But he's a far number two because Ronaldo's up there with the Messis and all the other top greats.
Yeah.
Benzema
But they're still winning things without Ronaldo there.
They are, and he's. But would you ever say that he's in a discussion with the Messi, Ronaldo? Would you then say Benzema next?
Currently, I would say he's in like a tier 2 below them. But that's where I would be putting off the top of my head. You'd be putting like Mo Salah, Bamford, obviously. I'm joking, but
I was thinking to say Firpo because I was just wondering, like, we have not brought his name up on the show.
Firpo's the greatest player. Like, I thought we were talking great strikers. No,
Okay.
Firpo's up there with like your Pele and Maradona.
Got it. All right.
Roberto Carlos, obviously.
Yeah.
Same position.
And Tony's in the house. Let's see. I don't know if his audio is good. I haven't actually been checking to see. Green in his prime, yeah. Let's see. That would end in Son getting another one of our players. Yeah. Well, that's where Arsenal has to be thinking with their head. They know how this thing's going to go. Am I going to the Arsenal Tavern pub? I'm going to go get a beer, an ale, a pint somewhere in London. I assume this is near the stadium, I guess.
I assume you're going to more than one place, Gary, to get pints.
Wherever they sell them, I'm going. So yeah, that I should put that on my list of places I want to visit. So what's it called again? The Arsenal. All right. So Tony, are you feeling all right, buddy?
Yeah, just eyes got all blurry and couldn't see and burning.
Yeesh.
Nice and fun.
Feeling better now. But we just kind of went through the games. We just talked about world-class players that Arsenal has none, and really thinks that team doesn't have any either. But I think he might be the only one thinking that. So I put down the Arsenal Tavern in my list of places, so I'm going to put it on my Google Maps and make sure when I get there I can see it. So I think Matt,
Saka,
I'm going to be in London.
I think Saka still has time to grow into a world-class player.
Yeah,
We've got multiple players that could be world-class, right? Is Jesus world-class to you, Tony?
No.
Is he on the rise there?
Yeah. Still don't think he's.
Is he having a world-class effect on Arsenal?
Well, of course he is. Him and Zinchenko, you buy a winning mentality instead of force feeding the players, apparently. That's how you get it done at Arsenal. don't like that, but
No,
you shouldn't have to go out and buy leaders and buy that mentality.
I see. This is a great question. See, I did it like I was saying earlier. I don't know if Ozzy Gunner would have seen this. Well, saying like there's a tier system because obviously you've got Ronaldo, prime Ronaldo, Messi, let's say Maradona, etc. They're beyond world class, aren't they? They're like all-time historic superstars now. Like
So
let's
is
say.
just Mbappe, would he be just like the personification of world
Whereas
class?
Mbappe is world class, but you know he's going to probably eventually be in that tier, but he's barely at his prime. So it's like you want to see what happens before you commit to these things.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time to
Exactly.
be up there with
Like
those
he's
guys.
already won a World Cup. Like let's not forget that.
Yeah, Matt, world class criteria.
I need if you're talking like if we're still talking about Son and Kane. Are we still talking about Son and Kane?
We're talking about what's the criteria for a world class player.
Any of them.
I need somebody that's proficient, and I mean, look at Holland. There you go, world class. I get the best example I can give you there. It's Holland.
Apparently, Matt wasn't paying attention to our conversation.
He's giving an example of what one looks like.
No, y'all asked what's the criteria for world class player. I asked y'all, y'all referring to us, or
Yeah.
because Tony, I mean, Terry, what's draw the blank. Came in late here, and Jerry came in. The Batman threw me off. See? Hey, Gary, thought I was on the comment hall and roundtable discussion tonight.
There you go. It's your Saturday nights, right?
I thought I didn't know if y'all still.
No, we're talking about the criteria because if you're, what is it? I mean, for me, I guess it's usually a player that usually transcends the era that they're in, right? And that's what Messi and Ronaldo
And all
do.
leagues too. All leagues too.
Yeah, when you think of you take any position on the pitch and you're like, well, there's nobody touching them right now. All right, not anybody in this era right now is anywhere close to a Messi or Ronaldo at their peak. Right now, Haaland is probably the next one coming in. Right where you're like, if he continues this, then he will be in the city. Yeah. Yep. And now he just looks like it's even like they just kind of put the nitro on and said, all right, you're already going fast enough as it is. We're going to add some nitro to it. And the City Blue is going to do that for you. So I think that's a world class player. I guess maybe transcends your time is what the GOAT means. But
I would have to say, if we're talking world class, you have to be successful whatever you do. So I mean, it's like pretty much they have to have a track record of winning.
Yeah. Well, by that criteria, then Kane and Son obviously not. However, I would be willing to believe that if they moved to a different club tomorrow, they would suddenly win a lot of things.
Yeah, I will bet my bottom dollar.
Yeah.
This is just me speaking now. I will bet my bottom dollar if Tottenham is not successful this year, one of the two is going to look for a move out of there. And I would not be surprised if either one of them end up in Real Madrid or one of the Italian teams. Yeah. Especially with the way Juventus is going right about now. So you know the Juventus is not going to stand for what's going on over there.
How are they in eighth? How are they in eighth place, man?
The same place the same way we were in eighth place last year.
Yeah. Do you know Juventus lost to a team that have never won a game in that league?
Brother, they're going through that same thing that they're going through what United is going through.
But all the top Italian clubs are. It's not just.
I'm just saying.
The whole league's shaking up this year. It's weird.
Yeah. No,
I actually like it like that for a change because it gives a little bit of watchability.
Is it as competitive as we are now? It might not be the type of quality, but
I would say no. I don't think
it's better than Spanish league. It's more fair top to bottom.
Yeah.
More fair than German.
Yeah, I don't think success necessarily means world class, because as you said, you have to have been in the right situation and gone to the right team, and you can do that at some point if you want. Sometimes you say nobody wants to pay for you, right? Kane probably could have left, but nobody's going to spend the money on him, and so he's stuck for a bit. So I don't necessarily think success has got to be a criteria for being a world-class player, because I think
No.
you could be the best footballer based on all the things that you can do, but if you've got to drag, 6 to 7 players along with you, not too many people could. You're going to have some quality on these teams where you like look at it and say, well, this guy like Maradona dragged this team through the World Cup, but they weren't like. You look at what that team has had, and do they have, can Kane drag them through? And he hasn't been able to do that. But does that mean he's not world class?
I can't say I'm certain, but I feel if Harry Kane hadn't locked himself into a 6-year contract, he would have been wearing a Man City shirt right about now, and he obviously would have had trophies to his name. So it's
But do you think
it's one of these
the criteria?
No,
I think success is.
I think it's part of it, a big part of it.
I think success is when you get to the GOAT status. Is where I think, because I think world class epitomizes the era that you're in. But when we talk about the greats and the GOATs, that's when they have to show something, a trophy, right? You have to be able to show a trophy to make that list, right? Multiple trophies, multiple big trophies. So I kind of feel like that's where
I think it's a very subjective thing, because, for example, I feel Mo Salah is world class. He has the Premier League and he has the Champions League to his name, but I still wouldn't put him in that level with Ronaldo, Messi.
Those are the greats. Those are the GOATs, right?
Yeah. Like I say, I definitely think there's a tier system.
Yeah. No, I don't think success is necessarily a big criteria for it, because usually, like you said, some of it's your decision depending on what you do, but some of it is
Batman world class.
Batman is, I don't know,
Not
that guy. Hey, it's almost 2 hours here. I know Matt joined us a little bit late, but we will start our exits as we head out of here. I think hopefully everybody definitely enjoyed our football talk about Arsenal and our talk about world class players. I will continue to have our show as long as I can. When I go to London, I probably won't have a show one of the days. I don't know which one. Probably Saturday, because it's the match. But I'll try to do the Monday one. So we'll be fine there. It'll be late for me, but I'll be going back to the States soon after that. So it's probably good that I get used to staying up late anyways. So Mr. Tom, I'll let you.
I have a question.
Oh, so there we go.
Go to Liberace's handbook.
Yeah.
No, don't need the handbook this week. Got it up here, right?
There you go.
You had a player called Fabio Vieira score a goal for Arsenal this week. When was the last time a player named Vieira scored for Arsenal? And I will not accept the answer, the penalty shootout against Manchester United in the FA Cup final. I will not accept that answer, because everyone knows penalty shootouts don't go on the record. Goals in penalty shootouts. When was the last time a Vieira scored for Arsenal before yesterday?
See, now I got to go get all the way back in my mind to the season before the FA Cup. So I got to go all the way back through that. I can't remember the game, but I know it was in that year. I just can't remember the game.
2005?
No, that's the FA Cup.
I can get the handbook out and pretend that I'm reading it, but still, up here, brother, up here.
You gotta have Liberace's handbook. Don't put it away.
We'll see if anybody in the chats gets it. I think we are on a little delay, but we shall see if they get the who. What was the last goal scored by a player called Vieira? I see a comment coming here. This looks really. It's coming in.
Is that a acceptable answer? Tom?
We'll see if it pops up here. So, got multiple answers here.
Oh,
That's-
that's really impressive. That's really
There's another
impressive.
one.
Arsenal misfit. He knows. It was on the 11th of May 2005. Patrick Vieira scored the third goal in a 7-0 win against Everton. And I believe the sixth goal was scored by Edu.
Yeah, dude.
What was the date on that game?
I believe it was the 11th of May 2005.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was. I knew it was.
Look in your notebook, Tom.
I didn't know if it was in 2004.
You said it was in his head.
Same season, but in 2004.
All right.
I knew it
Cool.
was before the
Look in Liberace's handbook and refresh your mind.
All right. That is a
All right,
shiny.
All right.
So, Mr. Tom, anything else you got to say to your people before you head out?
To my fans out there. No, I totally got fans. Thank you for supporting us and staying up as usual, especially to the people in England that I know are now sat here at 2:31 a.m. in the morning. Especially people that have got work tomorrow, etc. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for your comments, even the ones that are trying to wind me up. Love them, very funny. Except all the ones by Riddy, not as funny. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you to Batman for making an appearance and Matt for coming on and elongating the podcast. Always fun, always good, because it's nice to hear voices that are not my own. And just have a good week, everyone. Stay safe.
Great. And Tony?
I'll stick to kind of Mother Nature, thinking of people in the Caribbean and Puerto Rico. I know we have some of our followers that have Puerto Rican roots, so shout out to those people.
All right. Cool. And Matt?
Hey man, a great win by Arsenal this weekend. We're off. Everybody be safe. Enjoy what international games you're gonna watch, and get ready for the derby. And I'm so jealous of Gary going over there.
Sure you can't slip in his baggage?
Nah. No.
Steal his passport and his boarding pass.
Yeah. No.
That's what I would do.
And hopefully, when you get back by that time, I should be in my new studio.
Oh, your new office. All right. Cool. All right. Yes, everyone. Yeah. So you will see me. For those who are around, will see me in London. I'll be there. I guess I'll be there in like a week and a half. I think it is. I'll be in London anyways. I'll hang out with my dad for a couple of days, and then I will be hanging out with Lolo and Mark, and we're gonna hit hopefully the North London Derby, and we're gonna actually hit a Leeds match as well. So in between all of that, we'll probably be doing a bit of drinking and eating. So
Tom, did you remember to book your train?
No, there's issues with that. I was unable to get one.
Ooh. You know what? We'll see what we can
work out a way up there.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Like, you're in London, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see what we can do. I know my dad has he might have a car, so maybe you can drive me around a bit if the trains are an issue. So it's only so often you're going to go to London. But anyways, everybody, thank you very much for joining us. We will do this again Monday. We'll have the Saturday show as well. I don't know what we'll talk. Maybe we'll talk about the international games. We'll talk about whatever else is going on, and we will see you then. And as I like to say, and life is a journey. Don't waste a trip. Enjoy the ride, and we shall see you guys on the other side. All right.
Vieira.
Good night.
Ooh, Vieira.